Hey now, boys and girls. So, Eric Carlson was a -3 tonight. Should have gotten rid of him instead of DeBoer, right? Hey, welcome in to an After Dark here following the Sharks' sixth straight loss of the season, longest streak on the season right now. I'm your host, AJ_Strong. It is a pucknologist takeover, so of course, joined by the one and only Hockey Jerk.
I know you're kidding about Eric Carlson, but it still pissed me off. So,
Dude, are you pressed?
I'm pressed. I'm hot. My attitude is a little sus right now. Like, if you think the Sharks lost this game because of Eric Carlson, go into my DMs at hockey_jerk and let me know that, and I will promptly ignore you.
Okay, sure. All right, so we know the deal. Excuse me. The coaches are now brand new. How the fuck do we have three thumbs down and we've been on the air for 30 seconds? Thanks. Thanks, New York fans. Anyway, so we know the deal. Brand new coaches into the lineup. You might have heard a couple of these guys. Mike Ricci, Evgeny Nabokov, Roy Sommer. Leaving, Steve Spott, Dave Barr, Johan Hedberg, and of course Peter DeBoer. Boogie, Bob Boughner taking over the main reins. So, Jerk, I'll ask you this before we get into the game. Based on the coaching changes, did you see much of a difference? Obviously, the column that this game goes down in is the same one that the previous 5 games have, but what did you like from this? Or at least what was different, I should say.
So for starters, I noticed that the defense was a lot more involved in the play, but it wasn't reckless. It was very controlled and methodical when they pinched in, when they decided to get in on the offense. And I can think of a handful of times where a play stayed alive or a play got some legs because of Tim Heed. Like, I thought Tim Heed had a really good game, especially when he pulled that puck out of the crease in the first period. And then same thing, too. I thought Mario Ferraro looked good. Obviously, Brendan Dillon was more involved considering he scored.
Okay.
Eric Carlson, I can't say enough about the guy. He played very well tonight. Burns was still a little sus for me, but I thought there were some things about his game that bothered me previously that he worked on a little bit. So we're trending in the right direction here.
Yeah. At least it felt like it was more energy. I remember seeing something on Twitter that based on what I believe, I don't know if it was a Mercury photographer, Sharks photographer, basically saying that he is seeing a lot more kind of talking up from Boogie, a lot more chatter than he saw from Peter DeBoer. So that's one kind of interesting thing, I guess. I don't know. Either way, first period ends. It's 1-0. Hurdle notches a goal, and you feel like, you know what? The Sharks have only lost 4 games when they've scored first. So you're going, hey, you got the first goal. We're already like looking pretty good. And you had to feel like Jerk, did it seem at least like the Sharks had a little more jump in the first period?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought it looked like everybody in general had some pep in their step, especially more than lately. And we'll obviously get to it, but I thought, in spite of how the third period went, I thought Martin Jones looked really good in the first period. He looked dialed in, and
Yeah.
I thought everything as a whole, like everything just looked better. Like everybody looked engaged in the game. It wasn't like, oh God, we got to play again. It was like they were pumped to be there, and it's like we got to get a win, we got to turn it around. So I liked the energy and the intensity that I saw, which is one of my biggest complaints the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so the Sharks did, however, as awesome as it was to see Hurdle get the first goal, we also saw 2 lazy penalties. Too many men and a delay of game, putting it over the boards. Can't do that, especially when you're trying to keep momentum going and everything. Those are lazy penalties. You have to get out of whatever is going on. When you take those, to me, it says somebody you didn't focus. Something's not right there. But 2 lazy penalties. They did get a penalty from New York, so at least you did get an opportunity on the power play. But as it goes, power play not doing that great. But Martin Jones, I agree with you. In the first period, I was like, you know what, dude, looks like he's got a little bit of jump here, and hey, he had saved everything he had seen at that point. I can't imagine it was a whole lot, but only 30 shots on goal for the Rangers tonight. But you had to be like, okay, things are looking good. And so we move on to the second period, and what happens? Well, you get a goal from Faust, and when does it happen? At 5:02. So, again, that whole thing of, that first 5 minutes of a period, man, I'm telling you. And then just a little bit later, Panarin would get his first of 3 tonight, and you're going, okay, it's 2-1, and all right, just start tearing it down. Let's just leave. Let's go get more beer. Let's leave early. What else is going on tonight? Is there a movie we can get to before it starts? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it is Thursday, which is the College Friday. So
hey now, but just a little bit later, Couture would tie it up, and now you're going, all right. They're not folding after being down, and okay, they're coming back, all right. And so after 2, we're tied at 2, and you're thinking, well. It was a crappy trip, but now you're home. You got 7 going in a row. New York lost against L.A. last game. You got to feel like, okay, we got to just let's own third period, and let's start this homestand off right. And to go with that, Brendan Dillon scores his first goal in like 118 months. I don't think it was that. It certainly felt like it, but certainly Dylan gets his first of the year and probably only of the year. Let's be honest. And man, did he seem happy about it, Jerk.
Oh yeah, he was pumped, and dude, I was pumped too, because it's like. It's very rare that, especially as a defenseman, very rare that you get that much time and space to, like Randy said, check your hair, check your nails, and all that stuff.
Say, how you doing, baby?
As I would have said, you dust it off, you tee it up, you do your taxes, and then you just rip it. And yeah, he was pumped. He had that that insanely white mouth guard showing, and LeBanc and Jumbo were like shoving him, like, yeah, Dilly, yeah. So no, huge. Like I would have liked to see that one hold up as the game winner just for the story behind it, but still cool to see him get a goal either way, obviously.
Yeah. Well, after Dylan scores, the Sharks would then give up 4 straight in the period. Panarin, I said, got the hat trick. But Zibanejad picks up 2 in this one as well. I mean, just holy hell. And I'm trying to think I lost track at this point, but I want to say it was a Zibanejad goal where, dude, no. I believe it was Panarin's. I want to say it was Panarin. Oh, God. I need to take better notes, AJ. But one of these goals, I just remember there was like 4 Sharks around Strome, and he just dishes it off to Zibanejad. And it was like, oh, easy peasy. There's no one around me. This is going to be simple.
Yeah, well, and I believe that was right before the Rangers. I believe it was Jesper Faust had a chance and missed on it. And I was like, okay, cool. The Sharks got lucky there. And then, yeah, puck comes right back to Zibanejad, and he just rips it. I'll say this. I hate how much I love Zibanejad, to be totally honest. Like full disclosure, I have a Zibanejad jersey. I didn't put it out, obviously, but man, of all people to score against the Sharks, why did it have to be that guy? But just, for as well as the Sharks played in the first and the second period, like everything just, the rails were like, the expression is everything was off the rails. The rails were nowhere to be found. No. You have, like you said, you have four unanswered goals the Rangers put up, and I saw you say on Twitter the empty net looked like it put up more of a fight than Jones did, and then you were kind of kidding. I think you might be onto something there, because a couple of the 2 Zibanejad goals and then the Panarin one, all of those were just disasters for Jones. Like, you got to have that, or you got to at least have 2 of them. I mean, it's so. And even I'm just looking at it now, the first Panarin one, like, I don't know what happened there where Jones, I don't know why he brought his leg up like that, but it's just,
oh, dude,
it's just not good.
Yeah, the one from Zibanejad and the one from Panarin, both of them coming from basically the same spot, damn near the goal line, and
Hmm.
you really, dude. And even Baker's going, yeah, he's got to have that one. And
Hmm.
I mean, come on. Sleepy so far with the comment of the night. Let's trade Jones and Burns for some Fanatics jersey. They're both about the same quality. Hey now. But dear Lord, I mean, it's so funny. All this talk about Jones and Dell, and it's oh no, it's the defense in front of them that's hanging them out to dry or whatever. I'm sorry that I thought the defense played fairly well. 30 shots on goal, sure, but I didn't. It didn't feel like. It's funny. There was. Did you listen to the press conference today with Doug Wilson?
Yeah, I did listen to it, and then I think somebody tripped on the cord because Periscope just died.
Nice. So my point about that in the Doug Wilson presser, one of the things that he lamented and talked about was saying that the Sharks are giving up way too many high danger chances, but way too many chances coming from the slot,
Hmm.
between the dots. And the funny thing to me is, okay, yeah, you're correct about that, but those two goals that we saw tonight, those came from the goal line, brah.
Yeah.
They didn't come from the slot. So I don't know. It's like, God, Jones, I want to believe. I want to believe. I'm like the X-Files over here. I want to believe, but you make it harder and harder every game. So with that, it's a 6-3 loss. Again, sixth straight now for the Sharks, longest streak of the season. For those of you watching, though, I didn't mention this at the top. Of course, I should. Thank you very much for watching. Do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, throw us a thumbs up. Check out our other social media channels: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. We also started doing a little kind of after show green room audio only Discord thing lately, which is we've been having a good time in there, especially with the rolling chat and the sharing of fun gifs and whatnot. So we invite you to check out that media if you would. But as always, please tell a friend and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We certainly appreciate it, and we're trying to grow this thing here, trying to grow it out like Ricci's do, Ricci's flow. So I'm not going to get into Eric Carlson being a -3, being the only guy who's a -3. The guy was probably the best Shark over the last 6 weeks. Yeah, I think I'm going to let him, you know,
Well,
whatever.
and it's like I've said numerous times, like when you have the most ice time, you're gonna be on the ice for some goals against.
Well, not only that, and of course, oh, nice little dig to our buddy Brody. That's some average plus goaltending right there. But let's look at the couple of the numbers in context. Martin Jones, yeah, he's got to have a couple of those saves, but you know what's not Martin Jones's fault? The Sharks only getting off 18 shots on goal tonight.
That too.
That's, yeah, I mean, come on, 18? Really, bruh? And I don't again, I got to go back here and look at it, but it was 7 in the first, 9 in the second. You got 2 shots on goal in the second or in the third. 2 shots on goal in the third period, and for over half of it you were tied or you were down. How do you can we get a little more desperation in your game? 2 shots on goal over a period.
Yeah, that's not obviously not good. And I'll tell you this, I didn't realize that the shots on goal for the Sharks were that low. I don't know if you equate that to maybe the shots that they did get on goal were of a higher, we'll say, quality.
Yeah.
Because it to me,
Shot counter's all right, man, we're not padding these damn stats anymore.
right. It's, I thought the first. I mean, again, appearances are everything, but I thought the first half of the game, it seemed like the Sharks had a lot of shots on goal, but I think that's just because the shots they did have were really good shots. But you're right, especially, and this is one of the things. If I can dig out my coaching hat once more here, this is one of the things that even beyond the Sharks, just watching NHL in general is if it's in the third period and you're down, it should be like
A free for
play
all.
like it should be like play like you're gonna die if you lose this game because I'm serious, and not to dig up old wounds here, but like the game against Nashville, Sharks are down in the third, goalie pulled, down by a goal, and there's like no urgency to get the puck.
Mm-hmm.
So like you gotta, and we saw that in this game as well. Like um as soon as Zibanejad got that goal, I was still feeling okay, right? Because it's like, all right, Sharks have played pretty well tonight. Got
Yep.
the power play coming up, and then power play it didn't click, and even though it didn't click, I will give it a pass only because it was very obvious that it was a different setup there that actually got some good looks. So when it's something new like that, you have to have some semblance of a grace period in that respect. Not a long one, but a one nonetheless. And then yeah, Zibanejad's second goal, it was like, shut the lights off, delete your account, and just GTFO because like that was it. Jones. I've never been one to solely blame Jones, but yeah, Jones.
It
I
was
don't know.
not
I
good.
guess he was. I guess he saw 10 flying down the ice and he got rattled or by it. But it's I hate to say that he let the team down, but
Well, I mean, an 828 tonight, not good. What's funny is I can picture the post game presser with Boughner, and I go, so what your first game, what do you think? I feel like I've made a terrible mistake. I should have stayed in Florida.
and I do want to mention as well. Matt also saying they hit a lot of posts tonight, which is true. I know
Hurdle.
EK, I know Carl hit the post, I know Hurdle hit the post, Blickfeld hit the crossbar. So those, I mean, when you hit the post, it's not considered a shot on goal. But I would still argue. I mean, you had the goalie beat, right? So
Yep, got
it's a.
mine.
I don't know how the NHL looks at it. It's not a shot on goal, but it's a scoring chance, maybe. I don't know. It's all dumb. But yeah, no, I thought the Sharks definitely got their looks, and I know Ian Reed said on Twitter as well. This game was good and fun for the most part, and then like I said, the wheels kind of blew off the bus there in the third period. But I'm just plugging everybody. I know Kevin Lacey said as well. Usually the sign of things turning around is when you lose a game that you probably should have won or at least had a better chance of winning. So if we're going to
Well,
be optimistic, maybe it's a sign of things to come.
well, I should also say, Lance will get to your question in a moment. Should also say that the Sharks now 1 for 32 on the power play, and with regards to winning a game you should have won, or losing a game you should have won, the other thing that needs to be taken into account is New York, the Rags on the road. They have one regulation loss now in their last 7 games, so it's not like they've been bad on the road recently. So
Yeah, they've been hot lately.
yeah. Coming in from Lance, what did you guys make of the line combos tonight? Obviously, in reference to Jumbo going up to the second line, Hurdle playing on the wing, Goodrow centering the third line. I will say this. Is it me? Did Jumbo look a little more fired up tonight?
He did, and I think because I know I saw it on Twitter. I think because even though he was centering, I think Hurdle was dictating the pace of that line, and I think it got Jumbo Joe going a little bit. It's funny that the lines get brought up though, because everything I thought I was gonna hate, I actually really liked. Like I thought Hurdle, LeBanc, and Jumbo Joe. I thought they played well together. I thought Goodrow looked good at center. I thought the top line, Couture, Kane, and Meyer, they were buzzing a lot of the first 2/3 of the game. So, like I said, everything I thought I was going to hate, I actually ended up liking.
Well, and I loved just on a couple of those goals tonight. That goal in the second period, I think it was it the Fost goal? Dude, no, I'm sorry, it was the Panarin's first goal. That that 5 hole. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you got Jones moving laterally, but that 5 hole, it was just like, ugh, ugh. But prior to that, on that Fost goal, dude, the puck movement from the time that they got it out of the Sharks' end, there was a lot. That puck probably touched like 8 people before it went in.
It just bothered me, and I know Ian Reed has mentioned it in the chat on Twitter, but like a lot of these goals that the Rangers scored could have been avoided if Jones had, the post is the goalie's best friend. Get a little comfortable, buy it a drink, and
Mm-hmm.
And Panarin's two of Panarin's goals and Zibanejad's goal probably don't happen, or at least if they do happen, you have to work harder for it. If Jones is cozied up with his buddy, and instead it's like, okay, I'm just gonna get kind of facing it, and we'll see what happens. And
Dude, I want to be at practice tomorrow with Navi, with his accent, and he gets so hug the damn post already, okay? Get used to it.
I gotta wonder though, to get on a tangent and then we'll get back. I gotta wonder if there's something in the Sharks organization with goalies where like they have a problem hugging the post, because I know like when the Sharks had Niemi, he never did that either.
Shields was
And
pretty bad at it too.
yeah, it's like I know I imagine you said I was pressed. I think Ian Reed is pressed because these are basic goalie fundamentals that everybody should know, and he'll be the first to tell you that it's not kosher,
Yeah.
It's not good. It ain't good, Chief.
Yeah. Positive note, Haley didn't score because, we all know that if he had, that everybody would have been clamoring for him to return. So do we
Well, let's talk about the power play.
what was more impressive, the power play tonight for the Sharks or Sommer's bolo tie?
The bolo tie.
I think they both kind of scared me a little.
Well, bolo tie is pretty bold move, in a league where people get rattled when you stray away from the norm, right?
Dude, like our friend Gen X starting at NHL Bolos right now.
But I thought, like I said earlier, the power play was obviously 0 for 2 tonight, but I think the deployment and the way guys were used, I think I hope it's a sign of things to come. Just one thing that stood out to me, and we talked about it on Discord, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday as well, for those who are listening live. The DeBoer power play system, it was like, okay, Carl, you're going to be at the blue line, and nothing's getting past you, and you're going to just facilitate everything. And if you watch tonight, especially on the first power play, yes, Carlson was at the blue line, but he's roving down that right flank, and he's saying, okay, I don't have anything here, but I can slide over this way. Maybe I can find something. And I know he got a couple good passes to Burns. I know Couture found a pretty good pass to LeBanc as well. So I think that maneuverability and that flexibility, I think, allowed the power play to open up the ice a little bit more, and they didn't capitalize, but I thought they had more chances, which obviously, chances are half the battle, right?
That's all I'm saying, man. So, the other thing is Sharks were dominant in the circle tonight, so it's like you had the opportunity to start plays. Again, you lost the special teams battle, but hey, all is not lost. You still lead the NHL in penalty minutes. All is not lost, my friend.
Hey, you can't have the number one penalty kill if you don't take a lot of penalties.
Right? So, what did you think of one Mr. Joachim Blickfeld getting his debut tonight? I mean, dude blocked a hell of a shot. He paid for it.
He blocked 2 shots. One of them, first one was like, oh yeah, nice block, okay. And the second one was like, oh god, I hope he didn't get it, in the
the twig and berries.
Yeah, his I might have to buy a new cup. I'm not gonna say that he was bad, but he didn't necessarily make a huge impact either. I did notice there was at least 1 or 2 instances in the first period where he was kind of just standing still and waiting for the puck to come to him. And I would have liked him to maybe move around a little bit more, but obviously first game jitters and a little starstruck, so I write it off. But he was just very, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but he was just very pedestrian. Like, he was a guy who was playing. He didn't do anything to hurt the team. He didn't really do anything to help the team either, outside of those block shots. And I thought he had some speed along the wall as well, which was nice. But I think just the team as a whole kind of needs more jump, and I think Blickfeld could probably use a lot of the same too. Is, if you're like, even though you're the new guy, you got to take the Ferraro approach. I don't know if you read Kurz's article on The Athletic, but it's basically like, just because you're the new guy doesn't mean you have to be like quiet and like by yourself. Like step up, and kind of just be one of the guys, be a normal in a normal environment. And I hope now that Blickfeld's first game is done, if he does continue to play, I think, maybe he'll have some more confidence to maybe make the first move and kind of drive the line himself, as opposed to waiting for his line mates to do something.
Yeah. Super chat donation. Thank you very much, John, for supporting the show. We certainly appreciate it. Should we name the power play Hack a Shark if it keeps up? Sure. I'm good with that. Or Sack a Shark at this point if we're going to keep firing people. Who knows? Blickfeld, for me, it just makes me wonder, like, if he looked around at all the empty seats tonight, saw Sommer behind the bench, and I thought we wear white at home. Why are we in black? Man, there's some empty seats there tonight at the tank from what I'm hearing, man. It's not looking good. A 6-game losing streak is not going to help that.
Well, and the first game of a 7-game homestand as well, around the Christmas time. And I kind of feel like I would have expected, and maybe we'll see this come, just based on the time of the year and where the team is, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some promotions where it's like, please come to the game, we'll give you a free item, like a
free tank of gas,
like some BS thing like college night, right? Or like, I don't know, like northern western Californian like Pride Night, and everybody gets a beanie or something, like, but
well, it wouldn't surprise me if they run like another garage sale night where it's like, any past promo, just come and grab one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think the Rangers are one of the teams in the NHL they travel very well, and you can tell if you just listen to.
Oh, dude, you can hear some Rangers chants in like the last 5 minutes of the game.
That's what I'm saying, and it's not to say, I don't think that's necessarily to say that Rangers fans took tickets from potential Sharks fans. I just think I just think it's more like there were a lot of empty seats, to your point, and I think the Rangers slid into them. But yeah, a lot of people are not drinking the Kool-Aid with the Sharks right now, and to a degree, I can understand. I mean, you don't want to spend money to be disappointed, right? But I just worry that, like, even if the Sharks figure it out, because that in month of November, when they're the hottest team in the Western Conference, they couldn't fill the building,
Yeah. little scary there. A little scary. So with that, do you think, last time we saw Dell was versus Carolina. Coincidentally, the last time the Sharks picked up a point in a game. Do you think Dell gets the start against Vancouver on Saturday?
See, this is why I miss the old Pucknologist, because you would have the X-Files theme like queued up for that. You know what? I'm gonna, if we're having this conversation maybe a year and a half ago, I would say yes. But Canucks, they're slipping a little bit. Obviously, they're only 4 points ahead of the Sharks, but they're still a pretty deadly team in the Pacific Division this year. So unfortunately, in a situation like this, even though Jones, laid an egg in the third period tonight, I still think you got to go back with him, just because he somehow is the better option.
Matt Hickey's saying it's the prices. You're not wrong, my friend, but the prices seem to be dropping in the third market. Oof, ticket coming down. So, all right, I think with this we can probably put a bow on this one. Again, 6th loss in a row, first loss for Boughner in this era of being a coach for the San Jose Sharks. We shall see on Saturday. I guess one of the kind of good things is, and maybe this, I don't know if this dictated Wilson's move in any way, shape, or form, but if you look at it, it's Thursday, Saturday, which is, normal, but then you have a Tuesday game, then there's no game until Saturday. So you get a couple extra days off. Maybe they take that time to work on some things, perhaps the power play, perhaps team defense, perhaps showing
people in the door,
perhaps sending a love letter or a Valentine from the Post and send, somebody put it in Jones's locker and, hi, Martin, this is the Post. And this is his friend, the other Post. Get to know us. We really think you'll enjoy having us around.
I mean, I don't know what it doesn't
touch us like you know us is what I'm saying.
I was gonna say. I mean, isn't like, don't some people aren't they people really into the idea of like twins? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Twins.
Some metallic, solid red twins. I mean, that's the same. That's the same thing, right?
Oh, dear Lord. And that means it's time to talk about scores around the league. Because holy crap. Anyway, the Preds, after beating the crap out of the Sharks, they fall to the Sabres tonight. This new kid who is lighting the world on fire, though, did get a goal for the Predators tonight. I believe you know him as Snosis. Had a good game. Second goal, he scored the second goal for the Preds that night. So keep your eye on this Snosis kid. I hear his jersey is selling a lot. The Boston Bruins, I don't know, man. They fell yet again to Tampa. The Bruins kind of sputtering here lately. Makes me wonder what's going on there. The Isles 3-1 over the Panthers. Of course, every team that just beat the crap out of San Jose has now lost. And your boy, former Shark Tomas Greiss. Because I just like, I don't care if it's Thomas. Everybody needs to be Tomas. I think it's fun. But yeah, Greiss gets the win, 3-1, Isles over Panthers, and we have to say it could have had Barzal with the game winner in that one. And guess who got the lone goal for the Panthers? Sharks legend, Mike Hoffman. Yes. Pens victorious over the Blue Jackets, 1-0 in overtime. Red Wings, wait a minute, the Red Wings won a fucking game?
Yeah, I was actually watching that game before the Sharks game started, and Red Wings looked pretty peeved that they had lost 12 in a row. So they're like, you know what,
we're tired of
do something.
We're tired of seeing coaches get fired. We're tired of the meme.
I just pictured it's been 5 coaches fired.
Maybe time to get a win.
Should we
make it 6?
You want to fire our coach? Yeah, no. Red Wings. I mean, you can't say this very often, but Red Wings. In the small amounts of that game I watched tonight, Red Wings look good.
Nice. 5-2 over the Jets. So one of the rare times that hella sucks.
Yeah.
Even though they had the lead in this game, the Golden Knights, mercifully enough, get taken down 4-2 by the Blues. Thank you.
You say AJ, you love to see it.
Love to see it. The Wild beat the Oilers. Wait a minute, the Oilers lost 2 to the Wild? Okay, whatever. 6-5. Boy, some high scores here tonight. The Flames, who are just killing it lately.
Yep.
Kill it again, 4-2 over Toronto. What the hell got? Oh, wait a minute. Gaudreau learned how to score finally. Okay, good for him.
Yeah, Flames have now won after being like the laughing stock of the division for a while. They've won 6 of their last 7.
It's amazing how a new coach will. Okay, never mind. Arizona Desert Dogs 5-2. My Yotes, hashtag my Yotes. 5-2 over the Blackhawks, and the Canucks in overtime over the Canes. Again, all the teams that ran roughshod over the Sharks are all, now going to take the loss. Mrazek, I think we really need to talk about the story that is Mrazek for a hot second, because to be taken out that hard by essentially the second oldest player playing the game, and to be able to bounce back and return, not only in that game, but to then lose to the Canucks. It really speaks volumes to the bounce back in Mrazek's game. I mean, R.I.P. Mrazek. You earned it.
And you know what? I'd have to confirm with my sources. Obviously, and maybe you've seen this. I've never seen a goalie get hit by a sniper and start the next game.
Yeah, or return, for that matter. But yeah. It's impressive. And then finally, the Kings 2-1 over the Ducks. I mean, literally the battle of who can suck more.
As Rocket says, I want you both to lose.
Yeah. So Kings, Ducks both suck. There you go. Boom. Let's get to the standings for a hot, quick minute, because it could only have gotten worse for San Jose. We laugh because if we didn't, we would cry. Right now, 5 points out of a wild card spot. Also 5 points back of Vegas, who right now have the second wild card spot. But in the division where it really matters, holy hell. San Jose now 6th. but 8 points out of the top three because Calgary, just remember, like 2 weeks ago, San Jose was like fourth and Calgary was seventh. Now Calgary's
San
third.
Jose was at the height of their win streak. San Jose was tied for second.
Yeah.
Like stuff can change quick. I would also like to say real quick, who is in first in the division? Would that be my Yotes?
My Yotes. We're just going to change the name of that team to My Yotes.
I'm saying, you know what? For those who knew me in 2015, we made it,
Jesus
guys.
Christ. Oh, my God.
We made it.
We made it. So also coming into effect for everybody, despite the fact that the LA Kings just, wow, did they suck, yet San Jose now owns the worst goal differential in the West. And let's be honest, there's a game coming up against the Kings on the 27th. If LA wins that game, the Sharks could be done.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like, I feel like the Sharks at this point, if something doesn't happen where they figure this out and turn it around, this team's going to be out of it before the All-Star break.
Yeah, and we're now at the point, we're 2 weeks out from Christmas, and it's starting to look concerning, especially, like you said, the games the Sharks do have coming up are obviously some big games. I know they got Vancouver on Saturday, LA's coming up, Vegas is coming up.
My Yotes.
My Yotes are coming up.
Yo Blues.
It's the Blues. Oh God,
the Flyers.
Their arena could get hit by a freaking I don't even know, a crane tomorrow, and I would not shed a tear for it. But it's crap or get off the pot time for the Sharks. Like, it's easier said than done. But like literally, like the Sharks, I thought the Sharks played a good game today. And where you're at in the standings and how the game ended, you can't afford to let that rattle you. You have to come back. It's got to be, like, hey, that third period sucked. But, like, other than that, we played a pretty good game. If we stick to that, we'll be fine. And that's kind of be the mindset is, like, now I'm not saying that the Sharks are rattled, but they can't be rattled because, like I said, it's go time. Like, you got to win as many games as you can, especially all the games coming up that are against divisional foes. And I know in December, like I said, we got – we got these division rival games coming up, but I know in the beginning of January, I know we got a game against Arizona as well. So like it's not going to stop. The Sharks avoided their division a lot in the beginning of the season, and December, January, February is when it starts to ramp up.
Yeah, nothing's going to get any easier. And I think we talked about this a day or two ago, that was I not saying like 2 days ago that, after losing, like 5 straight, like if they didn't go better, like if they didn't win at least 2 of these next 7 at home, like DeBoer was gone. Well, he's already gone now. But now with this, a 6-game losing streak, like what's the next shoe to drop? With the 6 remaining games, they could very easily lose to Vancouver. Arizona's probably going to come in and wipe the fucking floor with them, even though the Sharks did beat them 4-2 at the end of last month. St. Louis, hello. Vegas, hello. LA, sup. And then Philadelphia. Yeah, and then Philadelphia, hello. The Sharks could very well go 1-6 over these 7 games. So if that happens, it's like, well, then what's the problem now? And if that happens, is DeBoer vindicated? Like, well, clearly it wasn't me. It's, look, you're expecting me to cook this gourmet meal, and all you gave me was, cold cuts and a taco shell. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, at some point, I think Doug Wilson needs to take a little ownership in this, which I don't know that he really did today in the press conference. Like, there's part of me that sits there and go, like, I'm waiting for him to go, well, hey, man, I gave you 2 Norris Trophy winners to put in front of you. How do you not win those games or whatever thing, And it's like, I talked to Shang Peng today, writer from The Point and Fear the Fin. Hell of a nice guy, hell of a great writer. That is posted on our YouTube channel and all the podcasts, so go catch that out. Did that a little earlier today. Talked about the press conference with Doug Wilson. and just the vibe that he was getting from the team. You know, he's a beat writer. He's around the guys a lot. Go listen to it. It was a nice, solid half hour. But one of the things that I got from him was that, you know, Wilson, it's funny that there are certain questions that he's more than happy to ask, and then there's certain, or happy to answer, and there's certain questions where it is so apolitical. Just he's going to talk in a circle and not even come close to answering what you asked. And I think at this point it's kind of, hey, we gave you all this great defense. Yeah, what about that middle six that we had, like Pavelski and Donskoy and Nyquist? Like you didn't give us anybody to replace them. Maybe did you overestimate the guys you had coming up? And we're all about the, you know, giving those guys a chance and opportunities. That's what we really believe in here is opportunities. And there's going to be an energy level. Yes, that's not what I asked, Doug.
Well, I'd be curious to know what Doug Wilson thinks of Martin Jones' aura right now. Unfortunately, and now oh God. So a lot of folks are saying, you know, if the Sharks miss the playoffs this season, Doug Wilson needs to be fired. I don't know about that.
Well,
because yes, the roster is underperforming based on where their expectations are, where the skill level is. But like
whoever you get to replace Wilson, that same coach is going to be bound by the contracts that are on the books right now that are horrendous.
That's what I'm saying. And like people, like there's still folks who are saying like, oh, you know, Doug Wilson really botched everything, and it's like all he's done is try his best to put out the best roster to win a game, win games, win a Stanley Cup. Like
just win the game.
Like you just can't fault guys for that. And I know, and I don't know how much you want to dig into like outside things, but I know a couple times it came up where Doug Wilson said that he hopes to have cap space by the, you know, later in the season. So
when the season's already over.
right. So
I think at some point we really need to think that, you know what, maybe the graphics guy in Florida got it right for this season anyway. I don't know.
But I know it's a lot of people saying, well, you know, they're going to clear cap space. Who are we going to trade? And you know, for those who don't know, every day that you are under the salary cap, which the Sharks are barely, you accumulate cap space that's tacked on to your total number at the trade deadline. So right now, the Sharks have just a hair under $400,000 in cap space, but at this trajectory, they'll have almost 1.9 million by the deadline. I believe that's what Doug Wilson's referring to when he says that they'll get cap space. I don't think he's going to come out in a press conference and say, well, you know, if this guy doesn't do this, then he's gone. Like, I don't think that would happen.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just saying that I think if we have another stretch here during this homestand where like they can't buy a win, it makes me wonder if we see another blockbuster move happen, and maybe not the way that you're thinking. You know, maybe it's like Brent Burns traded for picks.
Well, and you know, you and I and Ian Reed, we talked about this on Discord last night, and even you and I talked about it this morning as well, where it's like
we talk about hockey a lot, people.
Right, where you might see a situation where you look at the Chicago Blackhawks where they have their pillars, they have their horses that they stick with, and then the supporting staff around them kind of gets moved around and reworked, everything on a year-to-year basis. I think, and we talked about this earlier off air, I think that's where the Sharks and Doug Wilson may be trying to go with this, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Like, look, the Sharks are not, just by virtue of the contracts they have, but by virtue of how good those players are as well, the Sharks are. It's not going to be a tear it down, win 26 games season like the Red Wings. Like that's not happening.
No,
it's going to be a rebuild on the fly. And to your point, AJ, with Erik Karlsson being re-signed long term, maybe all of a sudden there's not really a need for Brent Burns, and you can move from a position of strength to fill a position of weakness. Now, whether or not that's the right move, I wouldn't tell you. I don't know what Doug Wilson's up to, but I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. But I just don't think we're going to see like a full-on teardown unless, you know, like I don't even know.
Well, speaking of moving from a position of strength to a position of weakness, Puck Guy will be here for you on Saturday. I had to take the easy joke. I had to do it. But that's it. We're going to wrap this one up. It's all said and done here. Do not forget, we're doing this kind of groovy, cool, where all the cool kids are. We will be on Discord following this cast. So go join whoever ends up showing up. We got some chat going in there, some like old timey, like use your fingers. And then we're doing a little chatting, on microphones and all that neat stuff. So Hockey Jerk can be found at hockey_jerk on Twitter. I can be found at AJ_strong on Twitter. Again, follow all of our social media channels if you would, please. Tell a friend to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Throw us that thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook, check us out on Reddit, Discord, pretty much everywhere. And hey, if you're so inclined and have an iTunes account, we would certainly appreciate 5 stars and a nice little review over there. So with that, it's all said and done. A 6-3 loss, 6th loss straight for the Sharks. We will see you after the Vancouver game, God willing. So for all of us here, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. And we will catch you all after, yes, someone said Vancouver. Good night, everyone.